joining us today. Glad to see a lot of you popping on here. Thank you for agreeing to judge for us in this unique year. We're excited to have you guys with us virtually in spirit here. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. And again, just want to welcome you. My name is Danielle, and I'm the Sherburne County 4-H Extension Educator. And we are so appreciative that all of you have agreed to continue judging for us this year. These are strange times, and we've never done judging quite this way before, but we're figuring it out as we go, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. I know I've been having some tech issues here because I haven't been in the office in like 4 months. So it's new experiences all around for us as staff, you as judges, and also for our members, certainly. So thank you for your flexibility and being willing to just go with it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, I introduced myself. My name's Danielle, but we also have some other of our staff team that are on the call today as well. So Kelly and Brittany, if you're able, if you guys could introduce yourselves as well.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I was the one that emailed quite a lot of you and called you on the phones if I didn't hear from you. This is my first summer with 4-H and the summer coordinator intern for the summer, so I'm really happy to be here. I love 4-H. I love going to the fairs and seeing everything, so it's looking quite a bit different than we expected, but it's still exciting because it's new and something different. And yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that the fair is this week. It's going to be awesome.
Kelly, are you online? She's in the next room, but I can't tell.
I am. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay.
I can.
I didn't hook up my camera at first just because there's people behind me, so I didn't know if it would be too distracting. My name is Kelly. I am the county support staff. I've been in this position since early March when everybody started to work remotely. So I've been trying to learn the processes and doing the best we can, working remotely and, getting training going and getting this set up virtually for everybody. So it's been really challenging, but it's been a really good learning experience as well. So looking forward to next year when things might normalize just a little bit, but happy to be here for now.
And then next, I wanted to just hear from you guys. I know you guys have come from a lot of different places and have various backgrounds and things like that. So if you guys are willing to unmute yourself and share your name, where you're from, how many years you've been doing judging, what do you enjoy most about it, and then this year, what are you looking forward to? You can either type it into the chat or unmute yourselves and share that with us.
I can start. My name's Renee Kostick. I'm actually an extension educator. I'm located out of the Brainerd Regional Office, but I house in Aiken, so now I guess Aiken's my regional office. Has been since March. I have been judging for 26 years in the 4-H program. What I enjoyed about judging is I love the interaction with the kids and learning from them on what they've learned and seeing them grow through their projects. What I'm looking forward to this year is actually just learning and trying out something new, because I truly believe that sometimes there are positives that come out of the challenges that we have, and we may find new ways to do things that are more effective and efficient and meet needs better. And we also learn through some of the challenges we have to overcome. So,
thanks.
I can go next. I'm Tana Haugen Brown. I figured I could go next after Renee because I could say ditto on a fair amount of it. I'm also an extension educator working in the AFNR program area, the Ag, Food, and Nutrition area. And I've been with Extension for around 30 years. I've been judging 4-H probably for about the same amount of time and have really enjoyed that interaction and such and seeing the kids grow through their projects. And I worked in the 4-H program originally, and my own kids have been really involved in the program. So I like 4-H. Hey, anyhow. And what do I challenges? Yeah, I think just trying out some of these new things, wondering how it's going to go, wondering if my cat or dog are going to join me during judging, that type of thing. So it could be fun.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, I can pop in next. I'm hoping you can hear me. since we're going with the flow with extension staff, I'm Colleen Sanders, and I'm serve as program leader for Central Region and Southeast regions, and currently housed out of my East St. Paul house, usually out of Coffee Hall in St. Paul campus. And I've been judging since I started with the 4-H program, so it's been 7 years or so. Do enjoy the conversations that I have with our young leaders. They grow and change and challenge us and help us learn all along the way. And this year I'm excited, kind of, sort of, about learning new platforms that I've never used before. So my job don't use fair entry. And so I'm like, okay, I'm learning that. I've learned a little bit on Flipgrid, SmugMug, all of these different platforms that we're using. So I'm looking forward to getting my skill set up a little bit higher. So thank you.
I can go next. I'm Jennifer. I am originally from Olmsted County, Rochester, but I just recently moved to Lakeville 2 years in August. I've been judging for about 11 years. As soon as I graduated out of 4-H, I was like, I want to get right back into it any way that I can. I'm a teacher, so I love working with the youth, and I love being involved in their learning. I have a passion for that. And what I'm really looking forward to this year is to see what they were able to do with this time. Like, I just feel like they have such, with the time they've had, like, the opportunity to create really good projects. And I'm just excited to see what they could do.
I agree. Thanks.
Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
I can go. Good. I just wanted to double check that. I'm Melanie Schmidt, and I'm from Mankato, and I work for community education and recreation. I'm in youth development, and I've been judging 4-H for probably about 20 years. Fairly new to the Sherburne County projects, but I've enjoyed those greatly as well. And I'm up for anything. This year is a year of learning, so whatever it takes to keep kids engaged through these difficult times is good by me. It's something is better than missing opportunities. So
Absolutely. Pat, I see your hand is raised. You can go ahead next.
I thought I could go next. I didn't know if that's how we should do it or not.
Why not? Yeah, let's do it.
I'm learning Zoom along with everybody else. So I'm Pat Braun, and I've been judging a long time. To be quite honest, I don't remember when I started. And 4-H is one of the best youth activities around. And so I just love seeing what the youth are coming up with, and feeling our futures in good hands because of some of the youth that I see judging in 4-H. And I joke with people that my idea of fun is sitting in a metal shed in July. Well, this year is going to be a little bit different with that part of it. And so I am looking forward to learning. And I also know if anyone would be on the top of knowing how we can do things with Zoom and different things, it would be 4-H. So I'm looking forward to learning all of that.
We'll see about that. Thank you, Pat. Who else would like to go?
I'm Pete Iden. I'm a volunteer with the Wright County 4-H and do the key leader with the club and involved in animal projects. I've been judging for about 4 years now, and shooting sports instructor too. My name changed to me. I've been trying to figure out it was my daughter's.
You're welcome.
We couldn't figure out how to do it. She was trying to help me. She's a county ambassador and day camp counselor. So she's been Zooming every day, it seems like, and somehow that got into my computer, I guess. But that's about it. I guess 4 years of judging, and I really enjoy it. And seeing what the youth do is just so special, as we all know.
Anything in particular you're looking forward to this year?
I'm a little apprehensive more the interaction with the kids, how that'll be different. I know it's not a lot. I think I only have one that I do a live Zoom judging with here today. But, I'm doing, I'm judging, I don't know if anybody else has done in Faribault County. They're actually going to try and do it live with safety precautions. So that's going to be strange.
Mhm.
away from somebody, having a conversation.
I did a live one yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a couple counties out there that are doing an in-person event. So yeah, it'll be different from county to county. So like I'm going to keep saying, we appreciate your flexibility because it's going to be a learning experience every county you guys judge in, I'm sure.
Yeah,
All right.
the Wright County people are waiting for my report on how this goes.
I will do that. All right. Who else here?
This is Neil Gratson. Okay. I'm from Cold Spring, Minnesota, and I've been judging fairs for my 37th year. Of course, like others have said, what do I enjoy about judging? It's working with the 4-H kids. That is the best part of judging, working with the kids. I really enjoy the interaction with the cattle and the kids and what I can hopefully teach. And I always learn something from the kids also. So what am I looking forward to this year? Well, this new experience, I'm not saying I'm looking forward to it. I'd much rather be in person with the kids and the cattle, but we'll get through this. I do have a fair later this year that is in person, and I'll be, looking forward to that because they are attempting to do it like they've done in the past, except I'm sure there won't be limited involvement from parents and grandparents and all that at the fairgrounds, but
Right.
anyway, that's my experiences in judging dairy cattle.
Thanks, Neil.
I can go next.
Sounds
I
good.
just unmuted myself there. This is Jason Wurst. I live in Stearns County. I was a Stearns County, I am a Stearns County 4-H volunteer. I am a private music instructor. I'm sitting here in my studio next to the piano. I don't know if you can hear that. And
Absolutely.
okay, well, there you go. And I'm actually, so I got started judging at the state fair. I was a state fair judge before a county fair judge, doing the performing arts project when it was new. And now I've been judging other things. And I'm actually here, I have Carol next to me. Carol's my mother. My music studio is in a room with her fiber and textile shop. And she's sitting here quietly next to me. She is not judging today, but you see, this is our first Zoom experience.
Gotcha.
And a little apprehensive about that. You've been asking people what they're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to making sure that this goes well. She has to judge other places for other counties later, I believe. Or maybe you don't, I don't know. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
There
Yes.
you go, okay. Otherwise, she's just observing with me today and watching how this works. So I hope this works well. And I presume that I'm gonna have to leave the Zoom meeting eventually and go into my computer settings to turn on the video. But that's all I'll
Gotcha.
say. That's all I'll say for now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Carolyn Decker. I live in Dassel, which is in Meeker County. I've been judging way too many years, and so this is a new learning curve for me. I'm judging fine arts.
Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, so today we're going to go over a lot of different things. We're going to breeze through some of the important aspects of the judging experience because it sounds like many of you have been judging for quite some time. So you kind of know what the 4-H philosophy is all about and probably have heard the spiel many times in person over the years. But then specifically, I am going to share my screen and walk through some of the virtual things that you'll need to do in order to look at projects and judge them this year. You should have all gotten an email from Kelly, I believe yesterday morning, with your login info for our fair entry platform online. And then some of you, not all of you, will be doing some judging on Zoom as well. For livestock or animal projects, all of our showmanship classes are going to be Zoom calls. And then for static projects, kids could choose 1 or 2 projects that they wanted to have judged live. It was optional, not required. But we had a fair amount that opted into that. So that'll take place after this. And then I'll also talk some about just the logistics of ribbons and placings this year, because it'll be a little different than typical placings that we usually go with, and then payment and things like that, and all the stuff that you found in your packet that hopefully you guys all received in the mail. It was sent out last Friday. All right. Like I said, I'm going to try to like breeze through a lot of this since most of you are experienced judges. But the judging experience is really special, and that's where a lot of the learning for 4-Hers takes place. 4-H is all about learning by doing, as many of you know. That's our slogan. And then to make the best better is our motto. So you put them together, and that's definitely what we're doing this year with the unique challenges we've been presented with. But even in virtual formats, or even more so in a online format, having a quality foundation is super important. And the way that you as judges and the 4-H program is able to do that is through creating a safe and supportive environment, having that positive interaction with a caring adult, and having a nice engagement and back and forth with an adult, and being able to engage youth about what they've done and learned with projects. So in your packet, there was some stuff in there about the judging experience and the quality learning and things like that. So I touched on that a little bit, but just kind of keep that in mind when you are interacting with youth. They have varying comfort levels, I would say, probably of interacting virtually. Some of us are used to it by this point, but I know there's a lot of students that struggled with the distance learning or maybe aren't comfortable with Zoom. So just kind of be aware and respect that and wherever they are. When you interact with the kids, you're gonna wanna make sure that you provide a welcoming atmosphere. That might mean a couple like general probing questions just to get to know them a little bit before you really dive deep into their project and the learning. Maybe introduce yourself as well. But then the part of the conference judging experience is that reflection questions, the processing of what they did and what they learned through their 4-H project work. And then certainly you want to be encouraging. We want to motivate them to continue their learning and apply it after this experience. And so as a judge, you're able to really be the person that can do that for a young person. On the screen there, you'll see the 5 steps to motivate youth to kind of pursue self-directed learning in 4-H. That is especially important this year. A lot of the 4-H at home learning opportunities and project work that kids have been doing has been self-directed, especially this year. So we certainly want to encourage that and provide examples of how they can continue to do that, and kind of just be flexible and adaptable like we have been, but really acknowledge them as an individual and where they're coming from or why they're pursuing this learning. Recognize the good things that they're doing as a part of it. And again, be encouraging and motivating so that they want to continue this learning in 4-H project work. We are excited that those who did choose to participate in this way are doing so, and most of them that are very passionate about their 4-H projects. So I'm thinking that you'll probably see that come across one way or another. All right, so, there we go. So most of you kind of know some of these already. A lot of times we encourage the sandwich approach, which is kind of starting out with a positive and a really nice compliment about what they did. Maybe then in the middle, you put some of that constructive feedback and maybe things that are things they could improve on in the middle. And then so that they don't dwell on that, you end with another encouraging note, end on a positive. When we're conference judging virtually or interacting with youth virtually in Zoom, we want to make sure that we continue to encourage and motivate their self-directed learning. And then we will give them feedback live and their results live if you're judging, especially on Zoom. Otherwise, you will provide those feedback and results on a paper form that you guys got in your packet. Now I'm going to go over some of the process and some of the logistical things. And some of the things that you guys got in the mail that I want to draw your attention to. To summarize, what we've decided to do in Sherburne County is kind of a combination of some of the options that were made available to us for judging this year. Mostly, youth will have all of their projects judged in fair entry, which is what kids and families use to register for their 4-H projects every year anyways. But they had the option this year to upload photos and include links to videos of their projects. So most of the members have submitted, well, they all have submitted pictures of their project or their animal from multiple angles or views, and we asked for specific angles or shots. And then for animal projects, they submitted a video, and a couple static projects might have videos too, but most should not. And then this year, you guys will go into fair entry. You'll log in kind of as a staff member would and look at the submissions. And then you have your paper evaluation sheets. And it's kind of like a rubric a little bit. It has a space for you to leave feedback and comments and also indicate their placing on that sheet. We'll also have you circle the placing on the call sheet so we have a summary of all that you've judged and have those barcodes there that we can scan and put the placings into fair entry. You don't need to put the results into fair entry. We can do that if you're comfortable and you want to because you're already in there. You certainly can, but you don't need to. As long as you indicate the results on the paper, call sheet, and the project evaluation form and send that back to us in the mail, that's what we need from you guys. And then once we get that back from you, we will compile each member's results, their forms, and then get them ribbons and send it back to them in the mail so that they have that. We gave people the option if they wanted ribbons or not this year, and everybody said yes. So they will all be getting something back in the mail, and this way they're going to get that feedback from you guys as well. So what I'm going to do next is let me get into fair entry. So before you stop sharing, Brittany, I'm going to get into fair entry so that I can kind of show you how to do that. I log in slightly different than you will, so you don't need to see that part. The email that you guys have provided to us should have been added in fair entry, and then Kelly, our support staff, sent you information on how to log in. In your packet was one of the top things we provided, but you guys have this instructions with screenshots, virtual judging in fair entry. And I did customize that slightly for our process. So there's also a video guide there and the links at the top if you are interested in looking at that. That's a statewide video that's been produced. But when you log in, I'm going to share my screen now so I can show you these steps and walk you through this guide. Okay, so when you log into fair entry, this should be, Kelly tells me that it should be a similar look because you guys are all logging in as administrators as well. So you'll come to this screen. The first steps in this guide kind of walk you through the login process, especially if you're doing that for the first time. So you will either find the Sherburne County Fair in fair entry or go to the direct link that we have and join the fair. You don't need to use the 4-H online side of logging in, And if you are already a volunteer or have 4-H'ers like in your family, don't use that, because then it will take you, you won't have the same rights as you do by logging in the other way. But if at any point you have any difficulty getting into Fair Entry and looking at the entries, let us know as soon as possible. In the guide, I put Kelly, our support staff's information there, so that you can reach out to her if you have any issues with Fair Entry. But you'll click on the 2020 Sherburne County Fair, and then that's, once you're in, then you can view all of the entries. So here from this screen, we'll click on the entries at the top, in that gray bar at the top of the screen. And then you can click into the specific project that you are judging. So let's see, for today, I'll show a static project example, and I'll show an animal project example, because I know we have both types of judges here, but you guys are all both judging in Fair Entry, so that's why we're all doing orientation together today. But if you click on rabbits, and then you click search, it will show you all of the entries for the rabbit project. So you'll see here all of them, and all of these kids listed, if you are the judge for this project area, for example, will be also found on your call sheets. So you can click through or go through the paper call sheet, or just go through in Fair Entry one by one and view each entry. But if I view that entry here, you'll see, oh, this is showmanship. That's why I only see a video link. But then you would copy and paste that link into a different like web browser tab or window to watch the YouTube video that this member has contributed. And then there's not a real easy way to go to the next one. You'll have to go back to that search screen. So I'm going to go back. Oops, I went back too far. But so I'm going to go back to entries. And then for this, let's see, we'll go to static are down, and most of those general projects are grouped together. And the way they're divided up is by age division. So you can look at them all, but if you're looking just for a specific project area, which, because many of you are just judging one or a couple different project areas, I would go in, click the grade, and then that's where you'll be able to see all the different projects. You can also search by entry number or exhibitor name. So on your call sheet, you have a name and you have the entry numbers of all the kids that you're responsible for judging. So if you want to just go through your sheet and then search by entry number or name, you can do it that way as well. I'll just pull up an example here. Well, first I'll show you this. So we're looking at, oops, let's go to crafts and fine arts, because I know that has some. So if I'm looking for grades 3 to 5 crafts and fine arts entries, I'll search, and then it brings up the kids that have those entries. You can view, and then you'll see there they have the pictures of, they have a picture of the entire exhibit, detail, and then a picture of the member with the exhibit. And then they do have the opportunity to provide other photos or a document, or even a video. Some chose to do that to kind of give you a little description, especially if they're not doing the conference judging. Some wanted to give more information. So like I said, for static projects, that was optional, but for video projects, that they do need a video link in there. And if any of those video links are broken, we did kind of check them to make sure that they were. But if they're not, let us know so we can get in touch with the member and make sure that they have a different video link that we can share with you. But let's go back to the entries, and I'll just search by an entry number for somebody. And let's see here. Okay, see, try another one. Oh, it's because I still have this selected. See, you guys might run into these issues too, so it's good. reason why it didn't show up is because entry 200 is not a 3 to 5 crafts and fine arts exhibit, and I still have that selected. So I'm going to want to exit out of what I clicked through in that hierarchy is what we call it. That's the technical term. And then if I search for entry 200, now, there we go. That is Jessica Waldron's crafts and fine arts entry, and it pops up right at the bottom there. So it's kind of your preference how you want to go about looking through all the entries, but once you click into an entry, you'll be able to see the photos. Looks like she has a series of animal prints here. So that's one example. Let me go to entries here. I'm going to show an example of an animal exhibit with photos too for people that are judging there. I'll go poultry, and I'm just going to search generally here. All right, we'll look at Hayden's. So it looks like, oh, there we go. It's just taking a little while to load, but you can see for animal projects, they required a little different photo, but like a side view being held, and each species of animal is going to have different photos that are required. So they should have all those in there. And then there's the link that you again have to copy and put in a new tab, paste, and then that should bring you to her video link. There we go. So I'll exit out of that one, but that's how you would then view the video. Most of our members chose to upload their videos in YouTube, so it's pretty simple to go in there and watch them that way. They have a couple options to submit videos, but so you might run into some different instances of or different URLs that'll take you to different sites, but for the most part, they're in YouTube. But that's how you will look at the entries. Like I said, there is the option, if you're in an entry, to edit their results and put a placing in there. And you can also put comments in there, but since you're already doing it on the paper sheet, this is not necessary. We will put those results in here later so that we can kind of keep track of them. But if you want to, if you have the time and you want to do it, go for it. But what we really need is that paper eval and then the results on the call sheet. So do you guys have any questions about this?
So I was under the impression that the students would be live. So this would be live judging, and it looks like this material is already preloaded and we can look at it one at a time. Can you clarify that?
Yep. So good question. Clover buds. So they had the option of submitting their projects and having them judged in one of those two ways. Okay. So there's some clover buds that have opted to have it live judged, but only a handful. For static projects, they could choose one or two exhibits that they wanted judged live on Zoom with a judge. And like I said, we have a handful, maybe 5 to 7 clover bud entries that would be judged that way, but otherwise you'll be going through kind of on your own time in Fair Entry, looking at the pictures and videos that they've pre-submitted. That was this year is required as part of their registration.
That's fantastic.
All right. Do any other judges have any questions about looking at entries? I'll leave my screen up in case I need to click through anything to show you.
This is Neil. Just
yes.
A question on the dairy. I see there's just one exhibitor. The showmanship has been presented as being live Zoom or?
Correct.
So
correct.
That person will be, when do I do the showmanship?
So that's correct. That's Julia here. You'll see she's she's wanted to participate in showmanship. And then, so we have left most of the showmanship calls their previously scheduled times. So for dairy, oops, let me see if I can.
11 o'clock Friday was the show time.
There we go. So that's when the Zoom call will be. Here we go. So I'm going to show you a new tab, and I did link this spreadsheet in the email I sent to you guys, but for the most part for showmanship calls, it's going to be all the same link. So it's a Z link that I'll just update with that day's Zoom call. And so it's just going to be z.umn.edu/Sherburne Showmanship. So that will take you to the Zoom call Friday at 11.
So am I supposed to do the static judging for the dairy classes at any time?
You can, yes, you can do that at any time. We'd like you guys, if possible, to have the judging wrapped up by the end of the week, so that we can get those paper forms back from you and send them to the ribbons and results back to the kids in a timely manner. But I would say you have through the weekend, because it's not like our staff will be monitoring that over the weekend. But as long as we have them, from the results are done by the end of the week, and you guys can send them back to us then in the mail.
Yeah, I guess I planned on doing the judging on Friday and getting it in the mail.
Sounds good.
That day or whatever. But
Yeah, and
Danielle?
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
This is Renee. So if I'm reading this right, are there more than one photography judge?
There is. There we go. So we already split that then.
Okay. So am I right? When I looked into the exhibits for the ninth graders that I had, none of them requested to do live?
Yeah, you guys actually, that's a good point. You guys will be able to see that in here.
Yeah, I went in and looked at each of mine. And yeah, there's only a couple of mine too. So that's what I was going to just say. In summary, we need to figure out who's Zoom, right? And then we're going to judge those right after this. And then we need to complete the evaluation forms for all of the kids.
Correct.
And then send them back to you. And that's the minimum we need to do, right?
So, right, do we then have to confide in each other for the purples? Or do you want
so
I'll purples by age group?
You can, if you feel exhibit is worthy of a purple, you can award that. We're going to have entries judged this year more kind of like State Fair does. We're not giving out grand champion or reserve champions this year, just because we felt that would be harder and maybe not as consistent in a virtual format. So, and to kind of conserve on the ribbon inventory that we have. You shouldn't need to consult or confer with each other, but you'll see, like in a static exhibit, for example, here, if they...
Yep, so he selected yes. It's question number 5, I think.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Yep. Yes, so you'll be able to see in the projects if they chose that. But if they don't show up in the call here at 3, and if you don't judge them right after this, even if they selected yes, then you'll just judge it remotely entirely.
Gotcha.
I did have one family that was a little confused and thought that it was required, and their kids aren't comfortable with Zoom or conversing with people virtually. So that family probably will not be joining us at 3. So if you don't judge them right after this, then just judge them the way that you would judge all the other projects.
How will we know when we're done judging all the Zoom calls? Like, and who is
I can let you know.
Not someone will let us know.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, this is a summary of all of the kids that opted in to do Zoom. And this is just for static. For, like I said, for animal projects, it's only showmanship that's judged live in that way, and that'll be at the same time the show was scheduled, unless I've already connected with you to work out an alternative time. Put it in the chat.
Said in the breakout rooms they'll have a judging assistant. So
possibly.
Or
we as staff will be that judging assistant.
Okay.
Today. So I know it's a little confusing, but we know how how important and valued that conference judging experience is. and how much people can get out of it. So we wanted kids to have the opportunity for it if they really felt it was important. But if not, we can just judge everything in fair entry.
You split up the clover buds, I'm assuming.
Yes. So whatever you got in your packet on the
Just
call
the way-
sheets is what you're responsible for judging.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so we're going to talk about ribbons and placings. I already kind of briefly touched on this. And there was a sheet in your packet as well about ribbons and placings. It kind of gives a little glimpse of the definitions for the different criteria or colors and what a blue kind of means. Sometimes I like to correlate it to school grades. So like that A is your blue ribbon. A B, or that could be your red, or maybe a C or lower could be a white. So it kind of has that description in your packet on the ribbons and placings information sheet. So I'm trying to find it in the packet. Oh, here we go. So I know my screen might be a little different, but it looks like that. Talks about experiential learning and the criteria for making your decisions. As we know, 4-H is all about the learning. So just really keep that at the forefront of your decision making. I know animal and static projects are certainly judged differently, and we understand that. But refer to this sheet if you have any questions or are kind of struggling with how to place. And this year, like I said, we are not doing any grand champion or reserve. So if you think it's like an A+ or A++, award it a purple. We can still give kids a purple. Thanks, Brittany. There you go. So I think this was also included as a part of that ribbon description sheet. And this is just kind of a visual I've created and used over the years. It gives you a description and what those different colors mean. You'll see green, that's our participation ribbon, and that's for clover buds. All clover buds in 4-H get participation ribbons because the experience for them is not meant to be competitive. Developmentally, that's not appropriate for those ages, so we give them a green participation ribbon. And trust me, they're just as excited to get that. And then this year we are still having a state event. So generally speaking, all blue ribbon entries can go on to the state event. That's across all project areas. So if you have a lot of entries in animal projects, and really that might only be rabbit this year for us. Most other entries, we only have few exhibitors that opted into the virtual experience, so they could qualify for the state event if they would like and are age eligible. So the age eligibility factor for state events is still in play, so that's kids 6th grade and up. So if they're eligible and you feel they're worthy, if you gave them a blue ribbon, we'll give them information on participating. If you don't feel that they're ready or worthy for that state experience, then you might want to really consider if you're going to give them a blue or not, because if you get a blue ribbon, you're able to qualify for that state event. So just kind of keep that in mind. Certainly all purple ribbons are also eligible. Anything higher than a blue. But that's kind of how we're doing things this year with placings and ribbons. Refer to the document in your packets if you have questions for animal projects. Most of you know kind of how to, the criteria and what to place the different animals. But a lineup really would only be required for projects that have multiple entries that are eligible for a state event. For general projects, you will not need to worry about any sort of lineup this year. All right.
And
yeah,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to assume state fair is only those 6th grade and up still, or is it
Correct.
expanded this year?
Nope.
Okay.
It is still for 6th grade and up this year. Yep. That will stay the same.
Okay.
I'm just curious, but will they be only able to bring one of their projects to the state level again?
I'm thinking so. I haven't heard differently. If other staff are on, you can correct me. But yes, so they will have to pick and choose which one they would like to participate in that
The girl
way
I
with. And
judged yesterday, she got like a bunch. So I was like, how are you
Yep.
going to pick?
that'll be up to her. So yeah. And that happens in a typical year as well. There's lots of times where kids qualify for state in multiple areas, and then they just have to pick and choose in which way they would like to participate.
So Danielle, refresh me quickly as we're talking about 4-H awards and placings. When you go in to edit it, since you're not giving grants and reserves, are we just doing a blue, red, or white, or do you still want us to click the purple if that's an option?
Like if you are going to enter results online, then you could click grant. You could do either purple because that part won't matter.
Okay.
Because that's mostly, that part comes into play for premiums. And unfortunately, we don't have room in our budget this year for premiums, so that's not applicable.
So on the call sheets, then you just want blue, reds, and whites?
You could indicate in like one of the boxes if it's a purple.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or star it or something. All right. Any other questions about placings?
Purple. There's a purple.
What was it? Oh, there is a purple spot on the call sheet. Perfect.
Purple. And then for participation, like Cloverbuds, it says green. So I would just
Perfect.
Green.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Neil with Dairy again. Will I be putting together a state fair lineup? Because there's only one animal per class, but if they want an indication of which one, they should probably enroll in the state contest.
You could, if there are members that are 6th grade and up that have different animals or something like that, where you would maybe where you would place one over another, and you want to indicate that to them, you could either put that on their project evaluation form or send that to us in an email and say, this is my lineup. That's kind of how we would accept our lineups this year. You can just email us your lineup and then we will communicate that to the members. Thank you. Good questions. All right, I just wanted to briefly touch on the honorarium. There's a form in your packet, probably one of the last ones here, along with an evaluation. There's also a checklist for you that kind of walks you through what we need back, so you can make sure you're sending everything back to us. But the honorarium form, just your name, your mailing address, and then how you would like to be paid for your services. This year, for budget reasons, the Fair Board typically covers these, but obviously we are not having an in-person fair this year, and the Fair Board is not having income this year. So we are going to go with a flat rate to kind of save on budget costs, and because of low entries due to the format of judging, we think that your time will not be, you probably won't spend as much time as you would have in a typical year judging. So we're going with a flat rate, so you can indicate if you accept that, or if you are donating your time, or if we've already discussed a different rate and you would like to stick with that, you can indicate that as well. If there are any other questions, just due to timing, just please email us. Our contact information is in the packet that we've sent you. We've been emailing and calling you, so you can reach out to us with any questions that you have. And again, we just want to thank you for giving of your time and giving this virtual experience to our young people. And if you are one of our static judges that is going to be judging right here at 3, it's actually a different call link. So I'm going to drop it in the chat for you, and then we'll all hop off and join on to that different meeting. So thank you guys for attending. And if you guys had any connection information, I will email you guys all the link to this recording later tonight after judging wraps up. But static judges, we'll see you at that link here in a minute. Thanks, guys.